All right, so it's recording in progress. Hey, hi, Fong.
Hey Geraldine,
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, thank you very much. I'm just want to share that I'm going to record this session as we discussed before. Is it still okay with you?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, thank you very much. I really appreciate this is for the ICF assessment but everything will remain confidential. I will only share that with the ICF assessors.
All right, got it. Oh, the best with it.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you. All right, are we in a good space to start the session, Fong?
I think we are, yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's get started. So what would you like to explore today, Fong?
So for today, I kind of want to explore on how I can communicate better. So I think that right now, I still have like some issue with like confidence and also like assertiveness. I want to get better at and like how to be like impactful with my communication skills, but also like feel comfortable with like what comes out of my mouth, you know?
All right. Okay, so feel comfortable. Is that what you said with your words?
Yeah, so like feel comfortable and also like feel confident about like, you know, like my communication, which is also like my interaction with other people, because I think like I'm fumbling a little bit and I want to get better about it. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems to be important for you. So you want to improve your communication by being more assertive and confident about what you're saying and the impact you have on others.
Yes.
Is it what you're sharing?
Yeah, I think that pretty much sums up like what I want to convey for today.
Okay, so you want to focus on this part. So would you mind sharing a little bit more what you mean by communicating with impact, being confident, assertive?
Yeah. I think like at the moment I'm like a little bit of like people pleaser
Mm.
and like it yeah. And it's more like oh like thinking more like oh like how I'm gonna impact the other person and like sometimes I'm like I feel like I'm saying things I think that will please them, but at the same time, like, do I really feel comfortable offering all of that? Or like, do I feel confident to like present myself in front of this person or that person? Because like in my line of work, like I do like face with like a lot of people who are very high levels, like not like my higher ups, but like people who are like super experienced in their fields, who are like expert. And sometimes I feel like, oh, like who am I to be talking to these people? Yeah, so.
Okay. I can sense a lot of, yeah, a bit of even a stress when you share that.
A little bit, yeah. It's like I know those people like ones that I really like talk to them, like they are very easy to talk to, but like to get over like that like initial stage, like me being nervous, me being anxious, I think it's a lot of work. And like at the moment, it's more like the outer party who is like more experienced, like they're making like the bigger step to come to a middle ground when talking to me. So
Okay, so it makes you nervous and anxious. That's strong words, Fong.
a little bit, yeah.
Tell me more. How do you exactly feel?
So I think like I kind of have to compensate a little. It's like, oh, like I want to say like yes to like what they're asking, even though like because I think like if I do that, like my work relationship with them will get better, or you know, like kind of the people pleasing tendencies again. Yeah. And like sometimes I don't know like how like what I'm saying is like something like we both feel like comfortable with, or is something we are like, what do I say? It's like I'm not comfortable like saying the thing that I want to say.
Mm.
And a big part of it is like saying no, because like for me, like, I think I struggle a little bit or like a lot with that. Like say no to people. Because I think like if I say no, because when I look at the like my past conversations, for example, it's like, oh like if I had said no, like in this instant, like maybe like this could have led to like a different outcome that could be even more beneficial for the other parties and also like take the weight off my shoulder, you know?
Mm. All right. So I understand that you mentioned this communication, confidence, assertiveness, and then you shifted to your boundaries, and being a people pleaser and not being comfortable saying no, and being worried about the outcome if you push back, right? Is it what you're saying? Or if you
I
don't?
think that when I'm like pushing back, it's like that is not something I am doing a lot, which is like something I have heard from other people for like, oh, like, did you push back more? But like, how do I do that without like feeling anxious or like feeling, like I'm offending the other party?
Ah, okay. So I understand that there's a bit of tension here between your willingness to help and also you're afraid to hurt people or not sound rude. Is that what you're saying or not?
Yeah, it's because like in my line of work, I also like my job is to help people and like a little bit more like customer service, a little bit, yeah. But,
Mm.
like if I'm not like like answering all the queries, like resolving the problems and all that, like I know I shouldn't feel like I have to do all of that, but then I still take it on myself.
How does it feel to take it on yourself?
It's just a little bit hard because like I always like go back and think like, oh, like did I do a good job? Like was that like the best I could have done? And I kept like going over like what is already done.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a during and also after that is creating this anxiety. So ruminating about what you could have done, or is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Think about like what I could have done or like what I could have done better or like what I should have said differently, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So I understand there's a topic about being assertive, pushing back, being a people pleaser, and also the underlying emotions that it creates.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's more like the emotional like burden that like comes with it. Yeah.
So this is what you want to explore? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like I want to feel like I I'm comfortable like talking to people, like being confident in front of them, even though like we might not be on the same level of experience, but like like I want to feel like comfortable like talking to people and also like walking away from the conversation without like thinking about like what I could have done better, what I could have said differently.
Yes. All right. So feeling comfortable talking about people that intimidates you maybe, and just not focusing on too much on what you could have done, what could have happened, and just focusing on the next. So what would success look like for you if we were to focus on this goal?
I think success for me will look like that. I can say no without like any hard feeling. Yeah.
How do you feel when you're saying that? I can sense you're very
Um,
positive.
yeah, so if I'm able to say no, like I think um first of all, like for me, it would be like I would take like less responsibility, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And now people they can like the one I'm helping, they can also be able to help themselves even more. And like I'm not supposed to like handhold them like throughout like the entire process. And they'll be like more self-reliant.
Okay. So it's a win-win from what I'm hearing. So this is a
Yeah, so I think like it's a win-win, but like how do we get there?
okay. How do you get there? So that's a win-win situation you want to. Can you hear me? I think there's a bit of connection issues. Yeah. It's
Yeah. Oh, there's like some background noise behind, but it should be all right. Yeah, I can still hear you well.
all right. So what you're sharing is you want to reach this win-win situation, but so you know what it is, but you're like, okay, how do I get there? How do I
Yeah,
know?
it's like I have this vision, but like how do I like the roadmap to get there? Like, yeah, that's like the roadmap is what I'm struggling with. Yeah.
Okay, and why is this important for you today?
Because I want to feel more comfortable and I don't want to like obsess over it in a way. It's like for me like like when I overthink it, I guess. Like because I keep like going back to what was done already. It's like, oh, like what did I do that? What did I do this? And like when I ask myself that why, I don't think like I'm asking to find a reason, but it's a very critical kind of why. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's more like me criticizing myself and I'm like, I shouldn't do that. But it's like it's like a habit that a little bit difficult to break for me.
oh, so that's the habit you want to overcome, huh?
Yeah.
The inner critic that is not helping you and
Yeah.
preventing you from having this win-win situation and moving forward.
Mhm.
Okay. So what is this belief of, this voice or this critic prevents you from doing?
Well, first of all, it's preventing me from being at peace, I guess. Yeah. It's
Mm.
like it takes taking up like a lot of like emotional like space for me. Or like in the time when I'm overthinking all of that. I could have done something else, something better, and like something that actually like brings me joy. Yeah.
Mm. What do you mean by bringing you joy? What are you
Well,
saying?
not like worrying for once. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Not worrying about you know, like what I tell people or what like been said to me, know that.
So that's what joy is for you,
Yeah, like feeling lighter. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
feeling lighter. Okay. So what is lighter means for you as well, if I can go a bit deeper on that?
Yeah. So lighter would mean like I stop my overthinking and like I walk away from conversations and I'm able to like move on to like a different things without like still being stuck in that like headspace. Yeah. Yeah, being like able to like move on from the like a conversation like without looking back or like thinking about like, oh, like what should I tell them next time or what should I like, like next time I talk to this person, like how should I go about it, Kind of like planning out like every single steps and yeah.
Okay, thank you. You seem to be very aware of this voice and this habit, and it seems to be very present, huh, in your mind.
Like I'm aware of the person, but like how do I like live with it?
Mm. How do you
Yeah.
live
Like
with
how
it?
do I manage it? It's something I haven't figured out yet. So
Okay, okay. How do you live with it? So this is what you want to focus. So what is one belief you need to change to make that a reality?
mm, I guess like saying no is not the worst thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Saying no is not the worst thing.
Mhm.
So what if you have this strong belief in you now?
Uh, if I have a strong belief in me now, it's like I can confidently tell people no, right? Mm. I think like one thing would be less work for me.
Okay,
And
let's work.
yeah. And it's like not just like less work is mean like that is not the work people creating for me. It's like out of like work like I create for myself. Like
Okay.
and not like resulting in anything, like beneficial in the long term. Yeah, and I can actually focus on things that matters and also like like just feel like more assertive about myself and feel better about myself basically.
Okay. So again, if we were to go back to this new belief, that you have, saying no is not the worst thing, you would have less work, more joy, and you can really focus on things that really matter. So how would you feel if you were confident and you were able to push back, say no, and focus on what you want?
Mm, if I'm confident and you mean like how would I feel like out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I will feel like less anxious and less nervous, I guess. Yeah. Like so basically less of those like not so nice emotions.
Hello? Oh, there's an issue with
to
the...
open the conversation. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, sorry, can you repeat, because I think there was a bit of issue. Can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah. So I think looks like my internet. Okay. So I will feel like less nervous, less anxious, and like I will feel more comfortable like, approaching people or like to open conversations.
Okay, more confident. So, and what is fueling this anxiety, this rumination?
Feeling it. I think first it's like myself because I always feel like, oh, like I'm not doing enough in this case. Like how do I add more values? How do I like like do more basically? But not like more, but like how can I do better? Yeah, not more, but like what I can do better. Yeah.
Okay, it seems
And
that you...
like again, not like why thing, sorry. Yeah.
Why?
Like the why question, like asking myself, like the inner critic you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Like that is like the another thing that's holding me back. Yeah.
The inner critic. Okay, so you're just always you have a pattern to really being pretty critic. You have this critic, this inner voice that is pretty strong, and it seems to be coming back again and again, and it's very present. Okay, what have you tried in the past to overcome this?
I think for like in the past, I just kind of like grind through it in a way, like okay, suck it up, like forget about that like uncomfortableness and like move on because in a lot of those cases, I have no choice but like kind of like move forward. Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay. Move forward. You keep on using this word, move forward, move forward. If we were to use a metaphor, what would you pick to imagine yourself moving forward?
let me take this one. I guess in a way, like that is from when I was like younger, like I really hate operating your own vehicles. Like I grew up in the city, it's like traffic's pretty crazy. And like when I was younger, like I really hate like riding my own scooter, like riding my own like bicycles. So I was always go for like public transit. And when I'm like older, when I move away, I always like pick cities that has good public transportation. So I wouldn't have to be like driving or like biking by myself. But I'm moving back here, like it was a little bit scary at first, like having like, oh, like I'm used to it. It's not always pleasant, but like it is something I can do. And I feel pretty comfortable doing it now.
Okay. So riding your own vehicle, you managed to overcome this fear of, using this own vehicle, and just you were empowered. You managed to be empowered to do that. So how do you feel riding this vehicle? How does it look like?
I guess it's kind of like me like zigzagging my way through like busy traffic and like avoiding like big buses, big vehicles, big cars, and just like me and my scooter, like basically like dodging people and like still making my way through. Yeah, it's not gonna be like a straight way, but like I'll find a way. Yeah.
You'll find a way. It's not straight, you're zigzagging, but you have the strength and knowledge to do that. What are the strengths you're using to zigzag those big cars?
I think my observation skills, one thing like or like what to look out for and like and kind of like assessing like oh like how dangerous it is gonna be. Yeah. And also like a little bit of like faith, I guess. Like I have to trust other people. They don't want an accident. So they wouldn't like come too close to me. They wouldn't hit me. Yeah.
Okay, so you have the same objective, right?
Yeah.
same objective with others, that you don't want, neither of you want an accident, having faith, being observing, assessing dangers. What else are you using to navigate and go forward in this road?
Well, my own motor skills, yeah. Like I had to trust myself that I know how to operate these vehicles and yeah, how to use it basically.
Yeah, I can see I can see your body language changing a lot while you're sharing this story.
Yeah, like at the beginnings, like that is something I'm like really afraid of, but now I'm like, oh, it's fine. And even when like I'm not like using my own vehicles, I'm using like someone else's. Like for example, like my dad, he had like a motorbike. He bought it in like what, like before I was born, like 2 years before I was born.
Oh,
And today I'm still using it, and I'm still like pretty okay like riding it compared to like my usual one, like not as comfortable, but like I'm still okay using it. So yeah.
oh, that's a big
Yeah.
success. Huh? And how did you manage to overcome that
I
fear?
think for this one, first I had like no choice. Yeah, like the surrounding situations, okay, I have no choice but to do this. But later on I kind of like enjoy like doing it more, and I enjoy like going out using my own vehicles and also like being responsible about it, I guess. Yeah. Because I know like if I'm like participating in traffic, I am also responsible for others people like safety and well-being. So I have to be like careful with my own, but like at the same time, like keeping myself safe first.
So keep yourself safe first to keep others also safe.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting. And yeah, that's really impressive. So you managed to overcome no choice, you enjoy now and you feel responsible. And yeah, what is your inner voice telling you now that you're on the road?
I guess like compared to like my initial objective I mentioned earlier about my communication, like communication versus like going through traffic is like communication versus traffic is a lot less dangerous, and also like not involving myself in a potentially lethal situations. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me more.
Yeah, because like I mean, for traffic, it's kind of like I could die, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and talking to people like it's a lot less dangerous compared to that. But like how like somehow I'm more nervous about that's less lethal situation. So yeah, doesn't make sense. I know. No, I'm saying it. No.
So what is the belief that you can develop more?
I think like understanding like, and also like being aware of how big the risk can be. Yeah. Like in daily conversations or like daily communication, like the risk is a lot less. Then why am I stressing so much over it? Yeah.
What makes you laugh now?
Nah, it's yeah, kind of thinking about the situation about like that was kind of stupid, wasn't it? Yeah, because like in traffic, it's like a lot more like it's a lot more hectic, a lot more dangerous. Like meanwhile, like talking to others, it doesn't involve like as many like factors, I guess. Yeah. And a lot of these factors I can control like more easily, and also like the other person is also responsible for this, right? Yeah. It's kind of like me like trusting other not to hit me when I'm going through traffic, but like in conversation, I also have to trust the others to like have their own logic, have their own like critical thinking skills, and being responsible for themselves. Yeah.
So trust the others and trust them to be responsible for themselves, and you don't have to trust to control everything beyond your control, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think that the control part you mentioned, it is something I kind of not consider all the time. Like, it's like, why do I want this to go that way? It is a bit of my controlling tendencies, I guess. Yeah. Like wanting to things go a certain ways, no matter like if it's like my doing or others doing. So
Okay, so you're saying that you have a controlling tendency that can backfire on you, right?
yep.
Oh, wow. And you're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
You seem to be very aware. How does it, impacted you, this controlling tendency?
Well, first of all, it's not efficient in any way. Yeah. Because I think would never like go like the way I want it to go.
Mm.
But like somehow it's most of the time it's gonna work out for the best. So
And sorry, you were mentioning before, looking at the situation, it looks, I don't think it, yeah, it looks strange. So let's look at the situation, like if we were to observe you from a detached perspective. So what would you observe?
I think if I'm observing myself, like talking to people, like, I can feel like myself having that like nervous tick where I like scratching at like my yeah, like scratching at my palms or anything like that. Uh, Shoulder a little bit hunched, I guess. Like not like chest up, but more like hunching in and yeah, and not paying like very close attention to what the other person is saying. But at the same time, like I'm not like fully listening, but I'm thinking like, oh, like that is what they said. Like, how should I respond?
Mm. And what do you see? What else do you see? What is the other person doing while you observe the situation?
I think the other person may be like saying a lot of things, and because I'm not responding, or like I'm thinking about the response, I kind of like let them keep talking, and at one point they'll feel like, oh, like why am I not getting anything like feedback? Yeah, and it might maybe create more confusion. Who knows? Yeah.
Mm. So that's the situation when you observe and you feel you have this inner critic very present. And if we were to move forward and see the same situation with Fong being able to navigate and the big cars and being empowered and confident and comfortable to say no and to be assertive, what would it look like? Let's observe this new situation. What would you see?
I think in this situation, first of all, like my posture is gonna change. Sitting up more straight, and I'm still listening to people closely, but like I think I will listen to them differently. Like I'm not listening to like pick up the words or like find a way to respond anymore, but listening to them to see like, oh, like what is behind the words. Yeah. And I will feel comfortable with the silence. Yeah.
How would they respond?
I think I will be asking them questions more instead of like giving them like my thoughts, my resources. I mean, I will still give like the resources like where is it appropriate, but like I think I'll be asking them question more, like shorter question, like, oh, like what do you think? Like asking them for their own opinions. And sometimes when I realize like in my better conversation where I ask them like for their opinions, normally they find a way on their own. So yeah, let them do their own thinking.
What are the strengths you use in this situation?
First of all, it's listening. Yeah. Yeah, so listening, not just like listening for the information, but like listening for, I guess like for emotion in a way. Yeah. And listening to what they kind of like circle around. Because I can kind of tell and like there's like one thing they keep like talking around it, but like not getting to the point. Yeah, listening for that. Yeah, and another skills will be I guess like, in ways body language, because like when I feel confident and I stand in like a more like confident posture, like the other person, like they tend to mimic that. And if they also feel confident, and they'll be more likely to find their own answers.
Okay. So this is a form you observe in a confident situation, being very listening to the word, the emotion, but not listening to the inner voice, more listening for the other person and being confident, asking, being very curious in the moment, asking questions. That's the ideal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like the in like being in the moment part.
Mm.
Yeah, that is something I need to do more. Yeah, because like I feel like when I'm like listening to others, like for info, like I'm not really being there for them in the moment. Because like the info, I'm not gonna be able to like process them like right on the spot. Like I'm gonna walk away of that conversation, still having the info stuck in my head and finding a way to process it. Yeah, so like in this situation where I feel, you know, like more confident, like communicating better, I walk away from like the conversation, like not really worrying about what has already happened. Yeah.
Okay, so that would help. It seems to be a good insight that you have now.
Yeah, yeah, the in the moment part, you know, because I
Yes.
going back, because earlier there was a part where like I keep like asking myself why I do that, why I did that.
Mm.
It's not really being in the moment, isn't it? It's more like it's in the past already. So,
Okay. So what is insight? Can you tell me a bit more about this insight?
um, so this insight would be that it's like having faith in people again. Like yeah, like I trust the other person as well. Like I don't have to be the one like being fully responsible in this interaction. The other person's just as present, and like I have to respect that. Yeah, and respect that like things not go like the way I want, or the way I envision. Yeah. And sometimes like that's for the better.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a great awareness. And yeah, I acknowledge that yeah, it's really insightful what you just shared. In terms of being in the moment, it will help you fully be present and you will not have to think again about the conversation because you would be fully present. Is that what you're sharing?
Yes, like being fully present, and like when the conversation and it ends, it doesn't drag out like in my mind for longer.
Yeah, so that could help definitely. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and so if we were to circle back with your initial goal of better communication, confidence, assertiveness, where are we at this stage of the conversation?
I think I'm more aware of what's blocking me. Yeah. Because first of all, like I know like my struggle, but like now I know like the root of the struggle kind of thing. Yeah. And now that I know like what is stopping me, and also um like like an image of like when I don't have those blockers anymore, like it gives me a better idea of what I can do. Yeah.
So tell me, what can you do exactly in the next conversation?
Listen better for once. Yeah. And like analyze not the information, not the word that is being spoken, but like analyze like the emotions and like what is not being said. And again, like not feeling like I'm the one responsible here. So
Okay, so being present, being a good listener, but most importantly, and you said that, not being responsible.
yeah, it's like of course I have to like take things like seriously, but I don't have to take things as intensely as I sometimes do right now.
Mm.
Sometimes I think it's like way I make it to be like way bigger than it actually is. So
All right. So what would be the new thoughts that you want to hold on to that could help you?
It's not like saying no or saying like I don't know. It's one
Hmm.
thing. Because I'm like in a lot of cases, like people do come to me like for information, but like I don't always have that. Of course, I will try to like help like find like the info as much as I can. But like when I'm really stumped and like be okay to accept that and to admit that like hey, like, that is something I really don't know.
Yeah. How do
Yeah.
you feel when you're saying that? I can see a bit of
Yeah.
lightness.
I guess it's like contradictory because like oh like it's because when I say I don't know, like I also feel like not that I'm not actually being like able to say I don't know because at first I used to think like okay, if I know like the more I know the less stupid I am, right? But now I'm like oh like if I'm able to say I don't know with like confidence like that, like I wouldn't feel stupid about myself because like when I'm keep like looking for information and I'm not getting the one like I'm still getting more information, but just not the one I need. And like, oh, like, how come I'm so dumb? But now, like, if I stop that conversation, it's like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't feel like negative about myself because of that. Does that make sense? I know it's like a little bit contradictory, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think it's contradictory with your initial belief, right? But it's not contradictory. It's a reframing, I believe, what you're doing. It's just like you used to think that not knowing was being not competent, but now
Yeah.
you shifted to it's okay. To the contrary, it's totally fine, and it's make me even more competent, being confident to say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you? How do you feel?
Yeah. I think like being confidently like saying like I don't know without like it's just like it's saying like oh like I don't know. Just it's not saying like I'm stupid. Because like sometimes I feel like I'm like subconsciously I'm equating like I don't know to I'm stupid. So yeah, and now I have to like separate that.
Okay, that's another great awareness. How can you manage to reframe it? So what is a thought that you want to keep?
So the thought I want to keep is always like being saying no or saying I don't know. Like I think that those two are pretty much like the two things I'm most uncomfortable saying at the moment. Yeah, but like, if I'm able to do that, a lot of things will change, and how I see myself also change. It's like you saw like earlier, I have that belief of like saying I don't know it means I'm stupid. I'm like, yeah, that's not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's this pattern coming back again about this self-critic that is very present. So but you have a great awareness about tactics and techniques and reframing that can help you overcome them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So if I do say that I don't know, if I say no, like whoever I'm talking to, like they find their own ways and they are just as capable. So yeah.
Do you feel confident about that?
I have to get there somehow, but like I know like it will be optimal if I feel confident about it, but like now like I have to work on feeling confident about it. It's not gonna be like an instant. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is something I think like there will be days when I still gonna be like going back to the same previous thinking pattern.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I had to remind myself that that is not the worst thing to say, and this is actually the best thing to say in some situations. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a strong statement. So what is the one thing that you can really commit to do? What is a small step?
Mm, the small step is like knowing how far I can go and feel okay with that. Like yes, like going above and beyond is one thing, but like when you are constantly doing that, it's very exhausting, and it doesn't like always like lead to like the outcome like you envision. So yeah, like knowing like how far I can go, knowing my boundaries, one thing. Like I think that's the first one, and like test the water a little, like how far I want to push that, or if I don't want to push that at all. So
Okay. So, and what are you going to do next?
next one is practice saying no and saying I don't know in daily conversations. Yeah. I think like once like I'm used to saying that, I will feel like more comfortable doing that in long term and like not like thinking over it, like being able to like say that as a reflex instead of like having to drag it out of me.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when are you going to start doing that more?
One step at a time, I guess. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, I guess like one step at a time. Yeah, like in my like upcoming like client meetings, maybe I can say that and not instead of like over offering.
You still have a bit of resistance, but you say maybe.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, like how that is not gonna be something like I can change like in an instant, So
Of course. But how could this help your future self? I mean, the confident Fong that you want to become.
I think for my future self, like I have more peace of mind, basically. Like, yeah. And I would like stop like criticizing myself so much. I can minimize that like inner critic.
Mm. So it will help, huh? It will help, okay, minimize the inner critic. Okay, so if I were, so we discussed many new things, but I understand you cannot implement everything and you don't feel ready to implement everything. So if there's one little step, one little thing you really want to commit to, what would it be? Could it be from what you've shared or anything new?
I think for now, like, I can admit to myself first, like before I say like I don't know or like say no to other people, like I say that to myself first, like to stop the inner like monologue kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that one would be like a lot more easily done because like
Okay.
it's me like doing it myself. So if I like, oh, like no, don't say that, or like if I have a question for myself and then later like, oh, I don't know, and stop it at that part instead of digging for more information or like going back into like my whatever I have already done. So
Okay. So this is what you commit to do, right?
yeah, so like practice that with myself first and in my daily like monologues, like in my self-talk.
Okay. So that would be your action. All right.
Yeah.
And it will help you, as you mentioned, building on your confidence.
Yeah.
Okay. And all right. And it will help your future self be more confident. Can you see your future self?
I think so. Yeah, I think I can see my future self. Like when I'm listening better and when I'm like establishing my boundary like better in like conversation in like outer communication methods, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel at this stage of the conversation?
I think it's like a long way to go, but like yeah, it's a long way to go, but like I have to start somewhere. So
And how do
it's
you
kind of like myself like pushing myself out there and like, hey, like you do this, you have to.
Okay. And how do you feel now?
A little bit uncomfortable to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, I can send that.
Yeah.
Where is this coming
But like
from?
logically, like I know that it's gonna help me in the long term. So
Sorry. Yeah, say that again. It broke a bit.
sorry, like I mean like logically, like I know that it's gonna be helpful for me in the long term.
So logically, but
Yeah.
emotionally, it's not there.
Emotionally a little bit uncomfortable, yeah.
Okay. What is this discomfort? I'm curious. What is this discomfort?
Because like this is a habit like I have been having for so long. I've been like holding on to it for like I don't even know since when.
Mm.
So yeah, like uprooting that will be a little bit challenging. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And so how motivated are you to overcome this?
I guess like out of like 10, I guess, let's use like numbers to make it easier. About like a 7.5 or like an 8. Yeah.
Okay, so what is missing to be a 9?
It's a practice, I guess. Yeah. So I feel like when I practice more, like that is gonna change. Yeah.
Okay. You seem to be determined about that.
I mean, like that is kind of like my motorbike kind of things. Like I have to do it
Okay,
somehow, right? Yeah.
you have to do it. And how can you be held accountable for that?
Like first of all, like checking in my self-talk, like am I like stopping my inner critics? Because like
Mhm.
self-talk for me, it would be like me talking to my inner critics.
Yes, yes.
Like am I like saying I don't know to the inner critics? Am I saying no to that before I actually bring it out and say it in, like human interaction, human to human interaction? Yeah. Yeah, and also being held accountable. Like I do have like friends who are pretty much like very straightforward with me, like not always like super nice, but I really appreciate that. Yeah, but like they're honest with me and I know they do care about me. So I do have them to hold me accountable. Yeah. And I do have my coach who's, like also helping me with this as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for all your sharing. I think there's a great awareness about your patterns and ways to overcome it, and also obstacles that you might have to overcome as well. So I'm curious, as we are wrapping up now, what is the inner resource that you've tapped into today and carry forward? Yeah.
I think inner resource is well, my past experience. Like if I have done something kind of similar in the past, overcome that fear that I thought that I would never, this can be the next thing,
Mm.
And also like I have a support network around me that I can tap into as well. And I think like I'm not like tapping into it enough.
Okay. So knowing that you can do it,
Yeah.
able, that you've done it, that you have the courage, and is it what you're saying? And
Yeah.
also, yeah.
Yes, that is something I have done before. So let's do it again.
Yes. All right. Let's do it again, and try and getting support from your friends as well could be helpful. Okay. Are we in a good space to close this session?
Yeah, I think for today I did get like clarity and more insight about like what to do next and also like what like cause like all of these. So yeah, I think I can walk away with this session with like pretty decent knowledge and also like how to like formulate the plan to move forward. So.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see you have awareness, clear awareness, more clarity indeed about the root causes and also the way forward. So well done on that. And we'll talk in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.